Like many hobbies, keeping fish isn't always cheap, but what if your aquarium could start paying you back, even if you only have one aquarium? Here are 5 definite ways that I have tried that can make you some money. Don't necessarily expect to be a millionaire, but I mean, if it gives you a little bit back, surely every little helps, as they say. So the idea is I give you some overviews of things I've tried in the past to make a little bit of money, to take a little bit of the sting out of the hobby for you. You might be able to make something of it yourself, you might be able to supercharge it yourself, or you might avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into. Idea number 1, you like looking after aquariums because that's why we keep aquariums. What if you look after someone else's aquarium? Now this could be going into businesses, offering to set up tanks for them or maintain tanks that they've got. Lots of businesses have fish tanks in them. Have you ever noticed dentists, doctors, places like that will often have a fish tank in the reception area? And they're there because we all know the benefits of keeping fish tanks. It's there to calm the customers, make them all reassured and feel happy about things. But they're not always kept by aquarists, so if you offer your services, you can make a little bit of money just getting a little bit more experience looking after one more tank. So, here are some of the things to look out for. Remember, this is actually a business. Whether you call it a side hustle, a little bit of extra dough in your pocket, this is a business. You need to think carefully about this one before you go into it. You might be able to skip the bookkeeping aspects of running a small business if it is very small scale, but don't skimp on the essentials, things like insurance. If you're maintaining something in a premises, whether it's an old person that's no longer able to, got no mobility to look after the tank themselves, or a business, you're going in messing around with water, where there are electrics around, blowing up something, slipping, falling, smashing, all these kind of things, you need to have your insurance just to cover, just to give peace of mind to your customers, if not to cover your butt if something goes wrong. Remember to include all your costs. You've got travel time, you've got consumables, you've got actual time once you're there. How often are you going to go and visit these places? It sounds like a great idea often. It's something that I've done in the past, but it just got too much for me. Outside my normal job, as well as my own tanks to maintain, I just didn't have the time to properly look after someone else's tank. But maybe you have, maybe you can build a small network. And if it is something that starts to work for you, maybe you can supercharge it a bit. You can start to advertise, whether it's through your own social medias or just going and hanging out places where people hang out and look for advice. Go to your local fish stores. Ask at your local fish stores, can I leave some business cards? Can I leave my name, that if anybody ever asks you and you don't want to do it, pass them my way. Get on social media, have a YouTube channel, have a Facebook page, all those kind of things. Advertise your services, post pictures of you doing the thing that you're going to do, so people get a little bit of confidence that you know what you're doing and that you're already doing it for someone else. And I'm including there like things like before and after, your classic dirty tank, clean tank. Offer packages, offer like I'll go 3 times a month or 4 times a month or whatever it might be, and little incentives to keep people going. And then on top of that, you can start to look into equipment supply, consumable supply, fish supply, plant supply, all these little things that can be little add-ons, and start growing that business. Idea number 2, breeding fish. For a lot of people, it's a pure joy to breed fish. Some people, it's a panic to breed fish. So turn your panic into profit. You can sell on the little fish as a hobbyist that you breed in your home tanks to someone else. Make a few extra pennies off them. The important things for this one, in my experience, is have an outlet. Where are you going to sell these fish? In terms of outlets, not that long ago, Facebook, eBay, places like that were really good places to sell, but they no longer in most places allow that to happen. So you need to find other outlets, whether that's local fish clubs, auctions, your local pet stores themselves. Sometimes they'll offer you trade-in, if not hard cash, or there are online marketplaces that are starting to pop up, or local groups, whether it's band app or local WhatsApp groups, things like that, where you can move on some things. But again, the 10,000 muck guppies isn't necessarily going to be a winner here. You need to think about what it is you're breeding. And watch out for this one, because it is easy to get rid of some fish, and it's quite you can think it can go on forever, but your outlets will often always change. And to scale this appropriately, you're going to hit a lot of costs. Whether that's more space that you need to put extra tanks in, more power consumption, more food, and it all starts to pile up. So as a little thing, this is quite a good one and an easy one to do, but a little bit more tricky to scale up, because then you start to get into the non-hobbyist side of things, you might have to look into licensing and pet shop licenses and things like that, and all the regulations wherever you are in the world that might come under. To supercharge it, research it. What is selling? What is a really good demand out there for things? Again, 10,000 muck guppies isn't going to cut it, but shrimp is really good. Snails, invertebrates, live food cultures, things like that you don't necessarily think of. They can be quite easy to set up space-wise and low cost to entry, but will always be a market for those things, as well as your fancier things that might need more developed setups and more expertise, as well as the rarer species. There's more everyday stuff like shrimp and snails that really does have a big demand for it. Live cultures is brilliant because people get into it and lose interest and don't keep them going. So if you've got the kind of mind that can keep on top of that kind of thing and keep them going, you can sell them for quite good markups. My third idea, which is kind of similar to that, is about growing fish. So not necessarily breeding fish, but quite often fish are expensive to buy at a decent size because they're hard to grow to that size. Discus being a good example for this. It's way more expensive to buy a 6-inch discus than it is to buy a 2-inch discus. That's because a lot of work goes into growing that 2-inch discus. Now, if you love that kind of thing, if that's your thing to grow fish and see it happening, you get to keep your fish, grow it up to an adult, sell it on to someone else and start again. That is the hobby for some people. They enjoy the process of seeing them and keeping them for, you might keep it for a year, you might keep it for 2 years and grow them up, enjoy them throughout that process and then pass them on to somebody else who wants that convenience, that easy part of it where they don't have to go through the hard part. You get to pass on your experience through higher costs. A fish that you can buy for 20 quid at 2 inches can easily sell for 100 quid when it's 6 inches. So it might not be a short-term, massive money gain for you, but if that is something that you enjoy in the hobby anyway, just seeing and owning the fish for a year and growing it up, you get something out of it in the back which can then help you start your next run. Similarly with things like African cichlids, something I've only recently got into. The young juvenile fishes are so much cheaper than sexed adults, so a lot of them will change colour when they grow up and they become sexed. You can pay 10 times more for an adult male whatever than unsexed juvenile whatever. You get the benefit of growing them up and keeping them and the enjoyment out of that, and then you can pass them on to fund your next project. So to supercharge that one, look at the species where there is that big difference between the really small young and the big adult sizes. Plecos, discus, specialty cichlids in general seem to do that quite well, but it really works if it's something you already keep and enjoy doing that anyway. Number 4, I mean, this one's a simple one. Plants. There are so many plants that everybody keeps in their tank anyway that they have to cut back because they grow so prolifically. Again, you need your outlet, so whether that's a fish club, an auction, Facebook groups, eBay still allow sales of live plants, but if you have stem plants that grow really well anyway and you have to take cuttings from them, you may as well sell them on. So it's zero cost to you because you already keep those plants. It's really easy to pass them on. It's not like they need live shipping or anything. You can just ship them fairly easily all over the country. Some plants grow like weeds, so you'll always have a good supply, and it's just quite an easy, low barrier to entry way to get a few quid. You're not going to make millions off this. It's just an easy way to do it. If you want to supercharge that, then you can start to look into propagating plants outside of the aquariums. I've made videos about this before, how to grow moss, endless plants forever. Go and check out some of them. We'll leave links in the description. But adding value to it as well, if you're propagating them in little tubs, you can also do things like grow mossies. Mossies are really good. A little pouch of Java moss will always sell well at a fish club or an auction or wherever. But why not add that Java moss and tie it to a coconut shell or tie it to a little bit of driftwood? You're then turning something that's going to be £3, £4, £5 into like £10, £15. Definitely look into like little aquascaper packs or decor packs where you can sell like 3 bits of driftwood with moss tied to it or with Java fern tied to it or whatever it might be. That's much more appealing to a lot of people because it gives them the convenience of you've already done the tricky bit of attaching it to the thing, and then you can add the people are paying for the convenience part of this, so that's what you want to do, is add a little bit of value to supercharge it. Look into mossies, look into the rarer mossies as well, because a lot of them are really simple to propagate the same way no matter what the moss is. Once you've got your starter culture, if you like, you can get started and get a little bit of a premium on it as well. It doesn't take up much space or cost much in terms of energy. Spend a little bit of time investing in practice of how to photograph these things, whether it's taking pictures of your plants in the tank once they're fully grown, taking pictures of them as they will be packaged to be sold. That always goes a long way and helps build a bit of trust with you and your seller, with you as the seller. Number 5, become my competitor. Get involved in the online world. It's not something none of these are going to make you overnight success millionaires. But if you get involved in social media, all these other 4, it helps support them as well. You can use your social media presence to sell your plants, to sell your services as an aquarium maintenance business. Whatever it is, you can just get free advertising. And if you do it long enough, you'll eventually be paid for it. YouTube gives me money to try and sell you plants. I have an aquarium plant business. I would love you to go and buy some of my plants. YouTube will give me a couple of quid for making this video. Win-win. You will not be able to retire next week for this. There's a long road, as any YouTuber will tell you, of self-doubt as to whether it's worth it at any point. But if you stick at it, you can get there. The monetization on YouTube, for instance, they're always changing the rules, so depending when you're watching this will depend when you actually start to make some money, and at first it will be pennies. That's not necessarily the whole goal here. It's about giving yourself that little shop window where you can start to make a little bit of money coming in, but also show your stuff. And the more you do it, you'll start to get interest from other brands. You'll see people talking about Hooger and all these other brands that send products to even very small creators who aren't even monetized in a lot of cases, just to get the real feedback from real hobbyists. So it's not the same as getting paid for it, but you get free equipment that you then don't have to pay for yourself. If you need some lights to grow some moss and someone gives you them for free, then you've saved the money you would have spent doing that. So it can work out. Not saying you can't be a multi-millionaire and turn into the next Mr. Beast. It's just unlikely. It might take a while. You can supercharge that by coming up with your own social media strategy, whether that's to attack multiple vectors of social media, Facebook, Twitch. I can't now think of any other social media angles. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be. Come up with a strategy and work out posting regularly. Even if you've only got one tank, taking pictures of your tank and concentrating on different areas of it, whether it's the inhabitants, whether it's the substrate, the decoration, the tank itself, the equipment, the running costs. There's loads of ideas you can make about every tank. Look at other creators out there, see what they're doing, come up with your own spin on what they're doing. People will be interested. You will find your niche, and even if you don't make any money out of it, you'll find a community that's willing to listen to you and watch your stuff, and you can get a bit of authority and become a person that gets trusted a little bit and can sell them things. And on that note, did I tell you that I've written a book? I've written a book, available in all good Amazons now. It's not a fish keeping guide. It's not a guide on how to do the hobby or become a social media influencer or any of that. It's just my musings that I've come up with while I've been doing this hobby for 20 years or however long it's been. Available on Amazon, like I say, or my website if you'd like a signed copy. You know. So I'm really not trying to sell you a get-rich-quick scheme, because I don't think it is. It's just a little way to supplement some of the costs that any hobby gives you, really, whether it's fish keeping or something else. You can make a little bit and kind of soften the dent, shall we say, of the costs that you will no doubt incur in your hobby. Hopefully some of these will help you. If you'd like me to go into a little bit more detail on any of these, drop a message in the comments. Come along to my live stream Friday nights 9 PM every week in the UK time. We can talk about this in a little bit more detail, or if you want me to make a dedicated video on how to set up a plant business or how to set up a fish growing business or whatever it might be, let me know. If you've got any other ideas that you've tried, there are loads out there. I mean, if you search YouTube for this type of thing, you will find other people with their great ideas. These are just some of the things that I've tried with some success, so I know they do work. But they take effort as well, so there's no low effort versions of these things, so you're going to have to put in a little bit of effort and have a little bit of time, but some of them can be fun too. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your ideas are and what things have worked for you. Make sure you click that subscribe button so as if one day I might come up with some genius brainwave and I will share it with you. So if you click subscribe, you'll be around, you'll get the notification for it. If you want to discuss it more, come along Friday night, 9 PM UK time. We'll see you there. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!